Good morning. So yesterday we had completed till verse 34. Narada is telling Vedyas about the things which a person is supposed to do when he is on the path of devotional, that is devotional path. What is this? And today we are going to expound further on the path of devotion. What is the job? What is the reason for your existence? Why are you here in this world? There is a reason why you are here. We have to understand that, and today he is going to give at least a little bit of in-depth explanation. So let us start. We are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, verse 35 onwards. Whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called Bhakti Yoga, or transcendental loving service to the Lord, and what is called knowledge becomes concomitant factor. I think we have done this verse. If I'm mistaken. Okay, if I'm not mistaken. So let us continue with the next verse. So we are doing verse 36, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, verse 36. While performing duties according to the order of Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one constantly remembers him, his name, and his qualities. Verse 37 says, let us all chant the glories of Vasudeva, along with his plenary expansions called Pradyumna, Anirudh, Sankarshan. Verse 38 says, thus he is the actual seer who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who has no material form. Verse 39, O Brahmana, thus by the Supreme Lord Krishna, I am endowed with the first with the transcendental knowledge of the Lord as inculcated in the confidential part of the Vedas, and then with the spiritual opulence, and then with his intimate loving service. Okay. So here we are going to understand what exactly is this Bhakti Marg. When we say Bhakti Marg, Bhakti means devotion. The part of spirituality where a person is not dissecting God. He's not trying to learn it through scriptures or some such kind of a thing. Human beings have a tendency of going and analyzing scriptures. They go and they read this in-depth thing. They like to by heart great verses and go along, for great, verses and books and scriptures and all those kind of things. Think about it like this. When you are doing all those kind of things, do you develop love and any other quality besides having knowledge? No. There is no such thing as love. Now let us say I am reading a book. Okay. Now this is a very interesting book written by a great author. All right. Now I am reading that book and I feel very nice about that story in the book. There is a story in that book. Now if I am reading that story, so let us take one person called William Golding. William Golding wrote a very beautiful book called The Lord of the Flies. Now this book is very, very interesting. He got a Nobel Prize, by the way. So I read this book and I say, wow, this is so great. But do you know anything about the author? Do you know how he lives? Even The Old Man and the Sea. And there are various others. We try to analyze. We try to over-analyze the scripture, the books that we get. And when we try to analyze, we are analyzing what those people have written. We don't have true love for the author. We are not interested in the author. We love Harry Potter more than we love J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling may say something and you may get offended by it. But Harry Potter, if he says something, you are very much interested in it. Why? Harry Potter is saying so. He is doing this. So understand this. Every human being in this world who is that kind of a person who is intellectual, The intellectual types try to analyze and overanalyze things. And that is the reason why we get lost in this material world. The great works of Seneca. Okay. Oh my God, how he writes, how beautiful that thing is. What is he writing about? Okay. The great works of Confucius. Okay. The analects of Confucius. Everybody is going to analyze his analects. We are not going to understand anything about the way of life, the way it has to be understood. We are not going to develop love for Confucius. Do we love Confucius? No, I don't even know Confucius from Adam. Similarly, there is a great person in India. Okay. Now, his name was Chanakya. Chanakya did something. Chanakya Niti and the various other scriptures that he wrote. We love to read those scriptures. We actually fall in love with those scriptures and say, wow, this guy writes so well. The idea that you have to be devoted to the person. A devotee is somebody who loves that person, has clear idea and understanding about who he is, what he is. You are literally falling in love with the person. Okay. Now, if I am going to watch a fashion show and I see beautiful fashion models are walking on the ramps over there. When they walk the ramps over there, they're wearing some nice clothes and this and that. I am admiring the clothes. I'm looking at the way they walk. Oh my God, this is so great, blah, blah, blah. Have you gone to the depth of this person and found out what they are up to? Are they doing drugs? Are they doing this? Are they doing that in their life? What is their lifestyle? They can't even eat. They can't even drink. They have a problem. They are restricted from doing anything. You got the point or no? Again, today, if I go and ask you the question, do you remember who won the, Olympic gold medal for this, some activity? You will give me a very good explanation of that. Yes, I know. 100 meters, this one won, and that one won. Okay. What else? I don't know. Now let us look at, let us say, in olden times, there was one person called John McEnroe. What do you know about John McEnroe? Oh, he was a very nasty person. He used to get very angry on the court. Really? He used to play with Jimmy Connors and all those people. Yeah. Oh, that is ancient history. I don't care about that. You see the whole point of it? We are not interested. So there is the first type of a person who is an analytical person, who wants to by heart things, who wants to read things, who wants to go to the scriptures and keep on by hearting them. Oh, and he is going to give you verses after verses after verses. It is bland knowledge. That knowledge is not going to put sweetness in my mouth. There are the great Vedantists and the various people who are so highly educated, They got master's degree, they got the PhDs in their subjects, and they can quote stuff like nobody's business. Is there sweetness in what they are saying? No. So these are jnana yogis, the yogis who are giving jnana. They just give knowledge. There is no sweetness. There is nothing in that. Then there is another person. He just keeps on doing work. He is like a karma yogi. Again, when you go to work and you come back, do you come back happily? You see, let us say you are catching the underground, or maybe you are catching the subway, or maybe you are catching the local trains or something like that, and you're going to work. Whole day you work in your office, and then you're getting into the same rush and coming back home. When you come back home, did you find your entire day happy? Somebody was asked, what is happiness? You know what he said? The happiness that I find is when I get up in the morning and I have my first cup of coffee. I think it was Jordan Peterson or somebody like that. He said, that first coffee, I am in love with coffee. I don't know whether it's Jordan Peterson or somebody else, but this is what he meant. then the whole day goes away. You are not in love with anything. You are just doing it for the sake of doing. That is karma yoga. You are just wasting your life. So you go, you do your drudgery the whole day. You are doing the same damn thing. And today's day and age, what are you doing? You're just logging into your computer. Oh, I want this. I got this meeting. I got that meeting. Today I will keep my window closed. My boss is going to tell me this. Somebody is going to fire me. This many mails are coming. I have to call up this person. I mean, what else you're doing? That is such a mundane and a horrible life of yours. Every day of your life is misery. So even karma yoga is like a miserable thing. So here Narada is explaining very beautifully. He says, I am in love with God. I am in love with Krishna. I don't care. You see, when a man is in love with a woman, does he have any other thing to do except keep on texting her, talking to her, calling her up, doing all kinds of things? That is what he does, isn't it? Full day is thinking about her, thinking. Oh, what is she doing now? What are you doing? You know, the kind of talk that goes on. What are you doing just now? Oh, what is she doing? She must be lying in the bed and doing nothing. But no, you want to know all that. And then you're waiting for the birthday, you're waiting for Christmas, you're waiting for New Year, you're waiting for this. Are you not waiting? Every moment of your life, you're just waiting for somebody to turn up. This person, I'm going to meet her in the evening. See, those who are in love, we talk like this, isn't it? I'm not talking about the swipe left and swipe right type of a thing. No. Please don't misunderstand me. That is only connected to sex and all those things. People are not interested in each other. What is this you are doing? Okay, I am not talking about that. I am talking about somebody who falls in love. The sweetness of love is literally a pain in the heart. Even when your child is there, as a mother or as a father, your child is there, and your child is performing in the sports or now he's taken part in one play. Okay, there is a play going on, a beautiful play is going on, and your child is playing some stupid role in that thing. But, oh, look at my child. You're looking at that child. You understand? That is love. You feel so much one with that person. So here, Narada is talking about this. He says, you have to be in love with God. Every other thing that is there, whether it is the path of, analyzing, dissecting God, that is not going to give you any sweetness. When you sit for satsangs and you are listening to all this thing, person is giving some big verses. I've seen there are thousands of people sitting in one place, and there is this person who is wearing orange colored clothes and all, and he's giving some great verses, he's reading Sanskrit verses. Those common folks don't understand a word of Sanskrit. Even that language which you are talking is so high flown. Who is going to understand? Please understand this. Nobody understands any of these things. Talk to them in their language. Talk about love for God. See here, the religion that is there across the world. Across the world, there are various religions. There is always the hoi polloi kind of, high and mighty people who like to analyze. So they will say, and they will quote verses after verses, books after books, and this after this. That knowledge has no value actually. Nobody loves that knowledge. See, in school also, in school and in college when you were, did you love your subjects? I don't think so. Mathematics, a painful subject. Languages, oh yeah, I love little bit of languages, but I don't like it. The language, I learned French when I was in school. I don't know what is. Oh, that is all I know. Beyond that, what do you do? Beyond mercy, you don't know anything. Have mercy on everybody. Don't talk. Oh, nowadays, I do Duolingo, Duolingo. I got one certificate to show you. What Duolingo you are doing? What love you are going to get out of it? France, in France, you have that French language, you see. Most of it, you may not understand. If you are an English speaking person, you may not understand. Something they do. Just listening to the words itself, you may fall in love with that person. I don't know what happens to that language. And the same thing with Bengali. You know, when Bengali people talk, I don't know what they speak. I understand Bengali, okay? Don't say that I don't. But the thing is, when they speak in their sweet tongue, Mishti, like, Mishti means sweet. They talk in that Mishti language. I may not understand a word of it, but the way they speak, like sing song manner, okay, it is very lovely to hear. So here, what is he saying? When you talk about God, it is the sweetness that has to come out. You see, in our tradition, there are great sages and saints who are very, very good in their way of rendering the words of God. Okay, they talk. You know what they say? They call it bhajan, kirtan, and those kind of things. Yesterday, I was listening to one person. Okay, now we are having prayers over here, so they play some bhajans and all that. So I was listening to this person, and this guy was singing. I did not find even little bit of devotion in this person. I said, what is he singing? I know he's a great singer. He must have won so many of those awards, everything. But there was no love in his voice. Okay. And he's exhorting people, sing along with me, sing along with me. Nobody was singing. Nobody was singing with him. You're taking the name of God and you're singing bhajans, and nobody wants to accompany you. You look so, like sitting like one big Ganesha over there on the podium, and he's singing, oh, sir, there is no life in your singing. The life is called love. You need to have love for it. You see, the idea that there is a movie in Marathi. It is called Katyar Kalzat Ghusli. Katyar, a sword. Katyar could also mean a knife, okay? Kalza. Kalza actually means liver, but let us assume it is not liver, but it is the heart. Ghusli, it enters my heart. You see the words, the way in which you sing, the way in which you talk about the person, it has to give us the sweetness. Why am I going on with this? Do you know? Because the scripture which we do, all the scriptures, are they poetry? They are epic poems. All these are epic poems. They are not supposed to be dissected. They are supposed to be sung so that people will feel love for it. Nobody can understand what is written in that. That is a different issue. But just listening to the words. I was listening to Kannada Raja Pandarisa. Like it's a beautiful poem. I don't even know what Kannada means. People can say Kannada means Karnataka. That is their choice. They can say whatever they feel like. Doesn't matter to me. But just listening to the words. Kannada Raja Pandarisa. Pandarpur. In Pandarpur, there is Krishna sitting over there. He's called Pandarinath. Okay. Vitthal Panduranga, we call him. So just listening to those words makes one's heart flutter. You see, that is the idea. So the idea is to listen to these satsangs because there is so much of sweetness in them. Listen to the words. They should make sense to you in the heart, not dissect them. Not, oh, he said a wrong word, just now. No, there is no need. There is no need of correcting anybody. You see, when Ramakrishna Paramahansa was talking, he was saying one song, he was singing one song. And in that ecstatic moment, that there is a word called some hati. He just says ti, 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 ti. Why? When you get lost in that ecstatic state, you may not even remember the names. Look at the people who are completely lost in God. They may be clapping or they may be singing, and they may just say the last word. They may not say the entire line. You know, Vithala, 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 Vithala. The person can just say this. That is all that is required. And that is what Narada is saying. Just the name itself is sufficient. So singing the words in the form of a poetry, singing very nicely. Nicely doesn't mean nice, having a classical. You're not Pandit Bhimsen Joshi or something like that. No, you can be anybody. Doesn't matter. You may be singing in the most horrible voice. Does not matter. But at least the love is there. You may have a croaking sound coming out of your mouth like a frog. Does not matter. But at least that is more than beautiful. Rajma's mother, she can't hear. So she can't sync with what you're singing. She can't sync with what you're singing. Okay. Now, when you don't sync with what you're singing, what happens is it goes out of sync. And then her words come out. Some people will get very, she's not singing properly. But I feel so nice about it because in her world, in her mind, she's taking the name of the Lord. That is all that you need to care about. And that is what she's doing. So it is so nice to hear those words, Even they are out of sync also does not matter. So there are people like Tukaram Maharaj, who are singing the glories of Panduranga. Okay. There is Kanakadasa, who is singing the glories of Sri Krishna, Udupi Sri Krishna. Okay. There is Purandar Dasa, who is talking about Lakshmi Baramma. He's saying those beautiful words. There are all those alvars. They are speaking such beautiful Tamil language. I don't understand a word of Tamil. I really don't understand a word of Tamil. But I just get carried away when I'm listening to them. The words, they make no sense to me. But just the sound. That is what he says. The Omkara is with Sri Krishna. Just the word Om. That is all. That is the beauty of it. He says you don't need any other thing. Just the Omkara. When I was a kid, I would love to listen to these bhajans and kirtans. 6:30 in the evening, or was it 6 o'clock? I don't remember. My grandmother will put on the radio. See, we had radio. We didn't have televisions and all that. So putting on the radio, there was a station called Bombay B, listening to all those bhajans and kirtans. For 30 minutes, there was one nice kirtan going on the Bombay B this thing. And then I would listen to it. Early morning at 6 o'clock, again, for half an hour, there is only beautiful songs. Okay. In Kolkata, there is a place. Okay. This is called Dakshineshwar. Now, Dakshineshwar is a place where early in the morning, there's a tower. There's a tower where the person will sit and play the musical instruments and sing the songs early in the morning. Same thing if you go to Shirdi. There is an arti early in the morning, Kakad Arti we call it. Just listening to that Kakad Arti is so wonderful. You get lost in it. You don't need complicated words. You don't need those, words which make no sense to you because you won't understand the language also. You just need to understand the language of love. Devotion is that. Your heart has to go out and you have to be lost in that ecstatic state like you are in love with this girl. Exactly in that condition. You have to be lost in the name of Krishna. That is what would happen to all those great people. What was Mirabai doing? Full day she was lost in the name of God. That is all. The devotional path is the most beautiful path where you get satisfaction, happiness, peace, joy, and everything. And you are in love with God. There is nothing else to be in love with. So the duty that we are talking about. See, here he says very beautifully, the duties that are there. What is the duty that he's talking about? The duty that we are here in this world whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called Bhakti Yoga. What is devotional path? Devotional path is only thinking of that particular Lord and doing what you are supposed to do. Think about it. There are all these people in the world. The great people are there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. He got that I have to be in love with Krishna. He was Krishna himself. And he would just go around singing songs in the middle of the street and talking about God. That's it. That's all he was doing. Ramakrishna Paramahansa was doing the same thing. See, devotional path is exactly like this. When you are in the path of devotion, you're going to be lost. There is a beautiful temple in Bandra in Mumbai. Okay. There's a place next to my old house. It's called Jarimari. And next to Jarimari, there is another temple. Okay. There's a Panduranga Vithala. He is there. Okay. There was a small place. And then there is National Library. There is a ground over there. In olden times, that whole place was just a field kind of a place. Now people would come over there. Now, that was the first time when the great sage came from Shirdi to this place. And he started singing the bhajans and the kirtans, which were sung over there. He has written a number of books. I've forgotten his name, but I'll come to it. Now, he used to come and he used to sing. When he went to Sai Baba told him, what is this? You are going for a fancy dress competition or what? He was dressed very nicely. Das Ganu was his name. So Das Ganu came dressed very nicely with a peta and all that, shalu. We say, silk peta. Shalu means silk. Okay. So he came with jari and shalu and all those kind of things. So Sai Baba looks at him and says, where are you going? For somebody's wedding or what? Some dance ceremony or what? Don't go like a normal person. Okay. You're not supposed to be dressed like this kind of a thing. Look at today's all these Babajis that are there. They are dressed for a fashion show. They wear all fancy clothes and all the malas and this and that. Das Ganu never did anything like that. He had an ektara in her hand and he came to this place. My grandparents were there. My great-grandparents were there. They fell in love with him. They fell in love with his singings. Okay. Dabolkar was there. Okay. My great-grandparents, Dabolkar, and the whole gang was there. They all used to meet over there. And then from there, Shirdi. That is how they were involved in Shirdi. So going to Shirdi was so beautiful for them. And that is how love developed. Now, it is not necessary for us to say, oh, why this happens and why that happens. We don't bother about it. When you are in love, you don't bother. So when you are in love with Sri Krishna, you can be singing in the middle of Times Square also. Wearing strange clothes. Having one chanty over here. Okay. And singing loudly with one dum 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 dum, And does not matter. It may matter to other people. They will say, oh, he's making noise over here. No, singing God's name. That's it. And it shouldn't matter. And that is called devotional path. And the devotional path, you should never be ashamed of it. See, people have shame. If you are in love with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, are you ashamed of them? I don't think so. You will be willing to even carry a rose from your house to her house. You see, people will look at you and say, oh, this guy is in love. You can make out. That is a kind of a thing. In the same manner, you can do that. So beautiful it will sound. Women will come from Mumbai to Shirdi, taking small stuff, this food. Somebody sent brinjal from Mumbai. It is so funny story. She sent brinjal from Mumbai to Shirdi so that they can cook over there and give it to Baba. Why? Because he loves a particular way of cooking, of this brinjal. Think about it like this. One day I was sitting in his con, and they served me food over there. Now this was a food offered to Sri Krishna, and in that there were so many things I couldn't eat anything. Okay, it was so much, and then they gave me a Karela. I looked at my friend and said, "What is this Karela you are giving to Krishna?" So he says, "No, we offer this also." I ate it. I don't like Karela, but I ate it. So it is like that. You eat it out of love, not because you don't like it or anything else. You eat it. So love is like that. It's crazy. And Bhakti Marg is all nothing but love. You just want to be in love. You will find that even during the olden times, people would just come. Just now also, I told you that Chaumasa was there, and all these Varkaris, Varkaris are the people in Maharashtra. They travel from one end of Maharashtra to this place. They can travel from Karnataka, they can travel from whichever place. They will come and they will stay over there for 4 months. Okay. Ashadi Ekadashi is one of the most beautiful occasions over there. I was there for that occasion. I think it was twice I was there. Once is way long back. And that is the time I bought that, thing from there. I still remember going there and eating food. These poor people are making food. The bhakri and all those things, you see, it is such a wonderful thing. Why they are crazy about Panduranga? You see, Tukaram Maharaj was crazy about Panduranga. He lost all his senses over there. He used to sit in his shop. He had a shop, okay. He was a shopkeeper. So he would sit in his shop, and anybody who came, he will say, okay, take this away. And he may not even collect the money. Okay. In my shop, I would sit. And people were afraid, this fellow, if you make him sit over there, any person will come and say, give it to me at this rate and I will give it to them. So I would not be involved in money collection and all that. I would stay far away from it. So only in emergency. Otherwise, I would be sitting in my godown. Why? Because I can't face this world. Those who are in love with God, they can't face this world and do transactions. So their transaction is out of question. So it was like that. And full day, if you get somebody to talk about God, we will talk about God. It's like, you remember, if you meet a person who is in love with another person, he's going to keep on talking about the same person. It's like that. So here we are talking about Narada saying these words in the Bhakti Marg. To be in love with God, take Omkara. The word is more than enough. Panihati, ti is more than enough. Just that word. Okay? It really doesn't matter. You just have to be crazy and be lost in it. Now here he is giving a distinction of the 4 types. Okay, what is he saying? The idea is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as per what is written over here. Sri Krishna is actually divided into 4. Okay, and he is given an idea, plenary expansions. Sri Krishna left from a place, okay, which is the Braj Bhumi, Vrindavan and all those places, and he came to Mathura, and from Mathura he went to Dwarka. Now when he went to Dwarka, he split himself into 4 personalities, 4 people. And one was his own brother, okay. Second one was his son, and the third one was his grandson, and 4th one was himself. Okay, got the point? You can pray to any form, doesn't really matter. There is a energy connected to that form. So you can be lost in any form, does not matter, but as long as you are only thinking of one, Sri Krishna. So this is what he says. Okay, let us chant the glories. And when we are talking about the epic poems and all that, we're just going to speak about the glories. Next verse, that is verse number 38. Thus, he is the actual seer who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who has no material form. O Brahmana, thus, by the Supreme Lord Krishna, I was endowed first with the transcendental knowledge of the Lord as inculcated in the confidential parts of the Vedas, then with the spiritual opulence, and then with his intimate loving service. And the last verse of this particular chapter, chapter 5, please therefore describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas, for that will satisfy the hankerings of the great learned men and at the same time mitigate the miseries of the masses of common people who are always suffering from material pangs. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such miseries. So here, Narada, he is telling Vedvyas that you have to see God in everything. Worship him. Constantly do the worship. So he says, and how do you worship? See, when we are thinking about God, we worship God. How do we worship? We say something, isn't it? Okay. Even if you are in love, what do? You take the name of your, the beloved, isn't it? You just take the name of that. The name itself is going to make you go mad. Right? Exactly like that. He says, just take the name of Krishna, 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 Krishna. Does not matter. You don't have to say any other thing. Even if you don't know any other word except Krishna, more than enough. Let us say you don't even know the name. Just say Om. Does not matter. That will reach him. And that is what he says. Just taking the name is all that is required. See, there is a sage in India somewhere. I don't know him actually. Some Premanand. You listen to all his videos. He just says, take the name of God. So in his case, it is Radha, 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 Radha. So he just says Radharani, Radha's name. That's okay. You take Radha's name, you take Krishna's name, you take Omkara. Does not matter. Everything is in the name of Krishna only. So he says, why is that? Because when he took a form, when Krishna is taking a form, he takes that in-between stage called Narayana, which is worshipped by Narada. Narada keeps on saying Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. You know that very well, correct? And then he took another form, which is called the Mahavishnu form, which is the one which is sleeping on the ocean of milk. That is the kind of a form. Sometimes people say Narayana is sleeping. Sometimes people say Mahavishnu is sleeping. Sometimes people call him by other names like Padmanabh Swami and this and that. You can call him whatever name you want. It is a Vishnu avatar. And this particular avatar has actually no form. So you can take the name, that is it. Omkar is also enough. You take Mahavishnu's name. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. No problem. Take that. If that is what you know. He says that is all you need to know. And then you get the knowledge of the Lord. You see, when you are a devotee, you don't need to read books. You don't need scriptures. You don't need anything. You don't need to know anything. You just have to be in love. Love, devotion. Love, devotion. That's it. You could be just doing like Totakacharya. You know Totakacharya? Totakacharya was the fourth disciple of, Adi Shankaracharya. What he was doing was, he was just in love with Shankaracharya. So he would not understand a word of what Shankaracharya taught. So in the class, he was sitting like a duffer. Okay. But he was so much in love with Shankaracharya that just thinking, what will my Guruji want just now? He will be thinking, oh, maybe he'll call me. So he will go and sleep outside his hut. Shankaracharya's hut was there. He will go and sleep outside his hut. And sometimes Shankaracharya will get up and he may stumble on him also. And he'll ask him, what are you doing over here? I thought you will ask me for something early in the morning. That's why I was sleeping. Again, there was a class going on. And when the class was going on, all his other disciples were sitting over there. And Totakacharya, he was taking a bath in the river. And suddenly, when the class is going on, suddenly Totakacharya says, Oh, I think my Guruji is calling. Immediately, without clothes also, he starts running towards the ashram. And he comes near the ashram and he is running inside the class and he's saying, Gurudev, did you call me? The whole class starts looking at him and laughing at him. So Gurudev says, yeah, I called you. And the whole class is laughing. All his great disciples who are some great panditjis, they are laughing away to glory. So he says, why are you all laughing? He says, such kind of an idiot he is. He doesn't have any knowledge. He's a duffer. Shankaracharya looks at them and says, you know what? He is far more knowledgeable than you are. Just walks over there, gives him his blessings and says, now you can say the verses, whichever verse you want. You people can ask him anything. Just by the hand of the Guru on the head of Totakacharya, Totakacharya got enlightened. The devotion was so powerful. You don't need any other thing. In the devotional path, a person can become like that. It is so beautiful. And Totakacharya became the Shankaracharya of the mutt in North India, that is in the Himalayas. Okay, Badrikashrama. So he became that. So please don't discount a person, even if the person doesn't know Sanskrit, doesn't know any language, is not read the scriptures, but is only in love with God. See, many a times when I visit, I seen people, women who are so simple, they will be just sitting full day lost in the name of Krishna in Vrindavan. Look at them. They're completely lost in it. That is what you have to be. So this is what he's saying. So taking the name of the Lord, what happens? First, you will get the transcendental knowledge. First, you will get that knowledge. Just the way Totakacharya got the knowledge, you will also get the knowledge. Second, you will get into the confidential path of the Vedas. The Vedas are very, very convoluted text. Nobody can understand Vedas. You can have the great Shastris coming, Panditjis coming and trying to dissect it. They won't understand a word of Vedas. Vedas are written in a very, very different manner. Same way all the scriptures. Scriptures cannot be understood by common people. Except the Lord himself can come and decipher the scriptures. That's it. No ordinary person cannot understand. And that is what you get to learn. And then the spiritual opulences. Then what happens? Then you get the knowledge of the Vedas. Then with the spiritual opulence and then with the intimate loving service. Spiritual opulence means you get to see the Lord. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, these are the things. And you can see his opulence. You can see his Kaustubh jewel. You can see his beautiful, that hair that is there on his chest. Everything. You can see the Lord. That is what happens. And after that, you fall in love with him. That is what the intimate loving service. So he says, after learning all this, he's telling Ved Vyas, do you understand what I am speaking? You know the stories of the Lord. Write so that the common people can understand it in a simple language. See, he might have written it in Sanskrit, but make it simpler. The stories have to be appealing. People have to understand. There will be somebody who will tell the stories. So you should write the stories of the Lord. Don't write that convoluted texts, complicated stuff. That's not going to give you happiness. Just the sweetness of the words, stories of the God is all that is required so that you can feel happy about the whole thing. And that is what he's talking about. So he says to Ved Vyas, go ahead and write the stories of the Lord. And that is how he was told by Narada to write the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that way all your miseries can end and you can be happy forever. So we have come to the end of verse 40 and the end of the chapter. Next time when we start, we will be starting the next chapter 6. So today we will stop over here.